What's up, party people, and welcome to Stoniecast number 188 and season 6, episode 14 of Thoughts and Hunches, Making Money in Bunches and Sucker Punches. It's your boy Stony coming back at you for the 188th time. I still can't believe it. And I'd like to welcome all of my fellow hoodlums, lowlifes, heathens, shady characters, scumbags, criminals, fugitives from justice, altar boys with unhealthy relationships with their priests, hustlers, scoundrels, wise guys, foul-mouthed, raging alcoholics, MLB players that have got into a fight with Bryce Harper. You know who you are. Thanks for watching. Cheats, gangsters, fienders with abusive language, and degenerates. I mean, let's face it, anybody with a massive gambling problem. If you're new to the show, hey, you probably fit into a few of those categories, so welcome, because you're now one of us. One of us. Gooba Gaba, one of us. We accept it, one of us. Just know the reference. That's all I can say. Hey, make sure you hit the subscribe button right down here in the lower right-hand corner and ring that bell. That way you can get notified every time I put out a new video. To spread the words, also very easy. Just tell other degenerates, scumbags, and fienders you know to go to YouTube and enter Thoughts and Hunches right in the search bar. That'll take you to my page so you can get dialed into everything that I drop on you. Also, if you're new and you don't know what's what with this channel, it's college and pro football winners, MLB playoff winners, college basketball winners, and I just give you picks. No player props and absolutely no parlays. Why? Because I don't like giving my money away. The books, they don't expect a guy like me to deliver this many winners. I'm an outlier and I'm a disruptor. I'm like the Beastie Boys. I disrupt.
Step inside the party, disrupt the whole scene.
That's exactly what I do. I go to the mattresses every single week to get the info in order to get you to the window with a ticket to cash. Now, before I get to the picks, as usual, I have some thoughts.
Give me all you got. Listen, give me all you got.
Know the reference. That's all I can say. Let me start with the good. And it comes from a god-awful conference, the ACC. Anybody that watches football featuring ACC teams, and why would you unless you're a Miami Hurricane fan of all, things, and anybody who chooses to be a Miami Hurricane fan, they should have got the death penalty 20 years ago. They got off, whatever. I can just keep going on. Anyway, anybody who watches the conference has what's called the ACC Game Day Operations Center, right? And that lets the viewer listen to the conversation between the officials and the people making the decisions behind closed doors in front of all the TVs with all the replays, right? It's great. I mean, I love it to get a peek behind the curtain. And I honestly believe all football, including the NFL, needs to adopt this policy. Just put a microphone in there so we can hear what they're talking about. It's pretty cool for those questionable plays when I've seen the replays 10 times and still disagree with the actual decision. Now I know what they see. Good idea. Next up is college basketball. And while I haven't played any totals yet, it's hard not to notice how they've skyrocketed the past 2 years. Shout out Sofo. That's easy to explain. 3 letters, NIL. 3 letters ruin college sports, and in basketball especially, where legendary names like Wooden, Knight, Tarkanian, Krzyzewski, Dean, Izzo, Calhoun, Boeheim, Thompson, many others, right? They used to build programs. Now it's all about throwing a roster together for one season to get the players paid very well in college before they go pro, where they can make even more. Totals in college basketball traditionally were between 120 on the low end and 140 on the high end. That was a really high total. Now it's 140 on the low end, all the way up to 165 on the high end. Steph Curry ruined basketball because nobody plays defense anymore, at least in college, until March. February and March they do. But they don't play because it's just about running and gunning, throwing the ball up, three. That's all that matters. It's sad. But just notice the totals if you're a total player. And finally, parlays. Just stop, people, all right? Parlays are lottery tickets. Who wins? The books win. I have a guy who tells me every week, how did I lose money when you won and I followed your picks? One word, parlays. It's difficult to win one game. How are you going to throw 5 or 6 or 10 or 15 together? The books get you hooked by showing you the odds. And after you get a hard on, you start adding more teams to what started out as a 3-teamer. It's almost as bad as the epidemic in football of going for it on 4th down, which should go down as an official stat where if you're stopped, it counts as a turnover. I mean, it's called a turnover on downs for a reason. Kick the freaking ball, coach. Jesus. As for the week that was, hashtag Maction is out of my realm going forward. So I am out. As I was 1-3 heading into Saturday, right? Well, thank God for Saturday. 9-4 is excellent, but I missed the degenerate special to finish the day 9-5. And 10-7 on the week, which I'll take. You know, don't get me wrong. I'll absolutely take it. But the Maction put me in a hole early. NFL was odd. I hit Thursday, missed on Sunday morning in Madrid, but I hit the under. But I had a hell of a first wave going 8-3 with the help of 3 unders, including the Madrid game, that all hit because unders always pay. Of course they do. Then the sun went down and I went 1-3. Missed on Sunday night, missed again on Monday night to ruin all the hard work I did on Sunday afternoon. 9-8 for the week is just unacceptable in the NFL. But then there's college hoops. And oh, how different week 2 was. I started hot and just kept rolling with only one day during the week that I went 3-3. But I cashed on all 6 of the other days. 34-20, fantabulous. Let's take a peek at the numbers. Last week, 53 wins, 35 losses, 1 push. 60.23%. Those are just massive numbers. NCAA football for the season, 145 wins, 97 losses, 4 pushes, 59.92%, under 60% for the first time in a while since I went on that 14-1 week last month. So under 60, but it's still excellent. NFL for the season, 102 wins, 73 losses, 1 push. 58.28%. A couple of not so good weeks, but over 58 is still top notch, right? NCAA basketball, 57 wins, 48 losses, 54.28%. That's up 9 points from week 1's disaster, but there's still a lot of work to do. As for the degenerate special, 8 wins, 7 losses, 53.33%. That's after 3 straight losses. Thursday night, 12-10, 54.54%. Not great, but in the black. Sunday night, 6 wins, 5 losses, 1 push. 54.54%, same. Just not great. Monday night, this is where we need to pick it up. 7 wins, 9 losses. 43.75%. That just ain't going to work. But overall, 13 episodes, every single pick that I've given you this season. 364 wins, 264 losses, 6 pushes. 57.97%, exactly 100 games over 500, and just a hair under 58 for the season. I mean, you know, what do you call that?
Wow, winning.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Now, once again, please remember that all these picks are 100% free. So for all the touts out there that are charging you for picks and giving you 75 to 80% winners guaranteed, documented, stop, Brent Musburger. We all know you're full of shit. Plus, you're actually charging for these picks.
Oh!
I mean, you know, I want to know how that happens. With me, it's very simple. Just come to YouTube every single week, and I'll drop my plays on you for free. Plus, I want you all to know that these are all bets that I am personally going to make with my own money. So I'm not just throwing darts at a board and blindly picking random games. Y'all ready for this? That's what I need. Y'all ready for this? Okay, away we go. Episode 14. Al?
Just win, baby.
Yeah, that one never gets old either. The new week began last night with a bang, and usually that's a portent of things to come. I started out 7-0 in college hoops, which is nice. Even though I dropped the last two games, 7-2 ain't nothing to sneeze at. So it's time for the large to come out this week and rear its head. If you're down with college hoops, here are my plays for tonight coming at you. 6:30 Eastern on Big Ten Plus. I like Penn State minus 12.5 over Harvard. Big time marquee matchup, 7 Eastern on FS1 at Gamble Pavilion and Stores. It's number 3 Connecticut hosting 4th ranked Arizona, and I'm on Zona here, on the road, catching 6 and a hook despite the long trip. I still think UConn wins, but that's a big number to lay against a really good, really deep, and very well-coached Arizona team. 7 Eastern on ESPN Plus. Give me Duquesne minus 15 at home over Loyola, Maryland. 7 Eastern on ESPN Plus. I've got Temple minus 5.5 versus Hofstra. 7 Eastern, ESPN Plus. I'm on Louisiana Tech catching 3 and a chunk at Indiana State. 7 Eastern on CBS Sports Network in another battle of Philly's Big Five. I like LaSalle plus 13 at home versus Villanova. 7:30 Eastern on True TV. Give me Dayton plus 6 at Marquette. 8 Eastern on ESPN Plus. I'll take South Florida plus 4.5 at Oklahoma State. 8:30 Eastern on ESPN Plus in a battle at 2 of Nashville's universities. I like Belmont at home minus 13 over Lipscomb. Another really good one in the Big Ten goes at 9 Eastern on FS1 at the United Center. I got number 8 Illinois minus 2.5 at home over 11th ranked Alabama. And finally, to close out the night, 10 Eastern on ESPN Plus at McKeon Pavilion in Moraga. To go on what I was just talking about, give me Arkansas State St. Mary's over 147.5. That's 11 college hoop plays right there to keep the train rolling. And yes, I'm very aware that there are hashtag Maction games tonight, but I don't touch those anymore this season. An 0-5 run will do that to you, so I just back off and move on to tomorrow, where it all gets started, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN at Centennial Bank Stadium in Jonesboro, where 5-5 Arkansas State is a 3-point home favorite over 4-6 Louisiana, then the total set at 54.5. Neither team's heading to the conference championship, but a win here makes Arkansas State bowl eligible, while Louisiana needs this one and one more to get into one of the 30 meaningless bowls. Red Wolves at home minus 3 are the play here. NFL Week 12 begins tomorrow night, 8:15 Eastern on Amazon at NRG Stadium in H-Town. The 7-3 Buffalo comes to town as 5.5-point road favorites at the 5-5 Texans, and the total's 43.5. The Bills have won 3 out of 4, and their last 2 wins were home wins over Kansas City and Tampa Bay. But as impressive as those are, their last 2 losses were at Miami and at Atlanta. Houston has also won 3 out of 4, but the elephant in the room is injury to C.J. Stroud in favor of Davis Mills, right? They've managed to win both games with Mills under center, but that's because of their defense. This is going to be a game that the team that wins is the one that runs it better. And with Buffalo's horrible rush defense, I got to like Houston. So give me the Texans at home, catching 5.5. And while we're at it, I'll also take under 43.5 for 2 separate plays. Something like a 20-17 game or even a 23-20 game, which is cutting it close, but that's still an under. I keep saying I need to go back and track my Friday plays because there's just something about Fridays that always helps me deliver winners. This Friday, we start at 8 Eastern on ESPN at Carter Finley Stadium in Raleigh. As 5-5 Florida State is 5-point favorite at 5-5 North Carolina State, and the total 61.5. Again, neither school is heading to the ACC championship, and they each need a win to become bowl eligible. Both teams stink, but the Wolfpack are much better at home, so I'm going to take NC State catching 5 at home. Also Friday night, 10:30 Eastern on FS1 at the Death Star in America's Playground. 8-2 Nevada, Las Vegas is a 2.5-point home chalk over 7-3 Hawaii, and the total 64.5. This is a good matchup. Both schools are in a crazy 5-way tie for second in the Mountain West and hoping to get to the title game with some help. But right now, Hawaii quarterback Micah Alejado is really feeling it, and he's on a roll. There's going to be lots of points scored, right? There just are. Both sides are going to be coming in here hot. But Hawaii's just going to score more. So give me the Rainbow Warriors here on the road, catching 2 and a hook with a sprinkle on the money line.
Sprinkle me, man.
That's right, Earl. Moving on to Saturday, noon Eastern, on the Deuce at Gerald Ford Stadium in Big D. 7-3 Southern Methodist is a 3-point home favorite versus 7-3 Louisville, and the total's listed at 52.5 in a battle of the two teams that beat Miami, right? Because we all know Miami's going to win the national championship, right? Ask any Miami fan, he'll tell you. SMU still has a shot at the ACC championship game, right? After winning 4 out of 5, while Louisville has dropped 2 in a row, including last Friday to Clemson in one of my winners.
Hoo-ah!
Yeah, attaboy, Al. You're welcome for that, by the way. That hook lingers. But Kevin Jennings is a different quarterback at home. So I'm on SMU here, laying 3.5. Or 3, actually. Yeah, that line moved. That line's now down to 3. So the hook doesn't linger. So I'm on 3, SMU minus 3. That's the play. Noon Eastern on Big Fox at the Horseshoe in Columbus. Top-ranked Ohio State is 31.5-point home favorite versus 5-5 Rutgers, and the total's 56.5. Ohio State continues to roll over everybody, and they're still the only team in the nation that hasn't really been tested yet, and they ain't going to be here either. But Rutgers is crazy enough to cover this number. Ohio State's missing both wide receivers. They're both out, right? So I'm going to take the Scarlet Knights here and the big number on the road. I know, I'm fucking crazy. But every now and then, you got to be to do what we do. Noon Eastern on Big Ten Network at Wrigley Field in the Windy City. 5-5 Northwestern's a 4-point home favorite versus 6-4 Minnesota, and the total's 40.5. Northwestern has battled, but they still lost 3 in a row, including last Saturday to Michigan. Though the Wildcats did cover and come from behind there. Well, they came from ahead to lose, but they battled and they covered in one of my winners.
Hoo-ah!
Oh, wow. Wow, that one was kind of aggressive. Northwestern has never won a game at Wrigley. Minnesota's home and road splits are legendary. With how well Northwestern has fought, the public is all over them. But I'm going to take a flyer here, and I'm going to roll with the Gophers on the road, catching the 4. And that's something I never do. Doesn't make any sense, but sometimes you got to not make sense to get paid and go for the large. Give me a second. Now we're talking. All right, noon Eastern on ABC. We get Saturdays in the South with the 3 Fs. Faith, family, and football. This one goes at Gaylord Family Memorial Stadium in Norman as number 8 Oklahoma's a 7.5-point home favorite versus 22nd ranked Missouri, and the total's 42.5. After playing 4 of their last 5 on the road, including last week's statement win in Tuscaloosa, Oklahoma finally returns to Norman to face a dangerous Missouri squad that's been in the mix all year in the SEC. Without quarterback Bo Pribula, Missouri doesn't match up as well, right? But this is a big number for the Sooners' delay, right? And last week, they were, if you just looked at the box score, Alabama killed Oklahoma. Oklahoma had no business winning that game, but they got it. They got the turnovers and their defense. That's how they won, right? Now, this game opened at 9.5, and the Sharps jumped on Mizzou and got it down to 7 and a hook. So I'm going to stay with that and take the Tigers and the points on the road, although I wouldn't have minded 9.5, but I'll take the points. Noon Eastern on ESPN at Lane Stadium in Blacksburg. Miami's a 17.5-point road favorite at 3-7 Virginia Tech, and the total's 48.5. No numbers matter because Miami's the greatest team in the history of mankind, and they're going to win it all like they do every year. But 17's too many. Va Tech plus 17.5 is the play. At Arizona State. Oh, wait, hold on. Here we go. Arizona Stadium, Tucson. 7-3 Arizona's a 6.5-point home favorite versus 5-5 Baylor, and the total 62.5. Two teams heading in opposite directions meet up here as Baylor's lost 3 out of 4, while Zona's won 3 in a row, including taking out Cincinnati last week in another one of my winners. Attaboy, Al. You're welcome for that one. Baylor's defense is a major weakness right now, and I have no faith in it trying to slow down Arizona quarterback Noah Fafita, who's been on a roll. Cats -6 and a hook. 3:30 Eastern on ABC at Royal Texas, Donald K. Royal Texas Memorial Stadium. There's just way too many names in there, right? Just call it Royal Memorial. It doesn't even need to be called Texas. Memorial Stadium in Austin. 17th ranked Texas is a 10-point home favorite versus 2-8 Arkansas, and the total's 57.5. Texas is probably out of the CFP now after getting blown out in Athens last Saturday in another one of my winners. Attaboy. Arkansas, they're a mess right now with an interim coach, and they've lost 6 straight, right? So they're clearly struggling. Joe.
Struggling.
That was you, Joe. One more time.
Struggling.
Thanks, Joe. Needed that one. Arkansas has been in all 6 of those games, right? They're in it, but they're struggling. They can't cover. Or they can't win, but they have been covering. So I like the Hogs here with the big number on the road, though Texas does win. 3:30 Eastern on ESPN at First Bank Stadium, right up the road here in Music City, USA. Number 14 Vanderbilt's a 9.5-point home favorite versus 5-5 Kentucky, and the total's 53.5. Vandy's been solid all season. They still have an outside shot at the playoff if they can win out and get a little help. Kentucky's won 3 in a row against 3 really bad teams, but Vandy creates lots of issues, right, for UK, especially in Nashville, right? And the way Pavia's been playing right now, I'm going to take Vanderbilt and lay the number. 3:30 Eastern on CBS at Autzen Stadium in Eugene. 7th-ranked Oregon's a 9.5-point home favorite versus number 15 Southern Cal, and the total set at 59.5 as Eugene gets the ESPN College Game Day crew out there this week. Oregon, they've won 4 straight since their lone loss to Indiana, while USC continues to show that they're frauds. Yeah, they may have beaten Iowa last week, right? Maybe they did, right? But not for those of us that had Iowa tickets. That's right. As far as we're concerned, USC lost. The the Trojans, they've won 4 out of 5. But they're 2-3 against the number during their last 5. Autzen Stadium in late November, Oregon is clearly the play here. 3:30 Eastern on ACC Network at Kenan Memorial Stadium in Chapel Hill. 5-5 Duke is a 6.5-point road favorite at 4-6 North Carolina, and the total's 51.5. Duke blew their shot at an ACC title by losing 3 in a row, and Carolina's been a shit show ever since they hired Bill Belichick. They do play defense, though, so I'm going to roll with under 51.5 here. Why? Because unders pay. 4 Eastern on the Deuce at Rice-Eccles Stadium in Salt Lake Stony. Number 12 Utah is a 17-point home chalk versus 5-5 Kansas State, and the total's 52.5. Utah's only 2 losses were to Texas Tech and BYU in the Holy War. But since that win, The Utes have won 3 straight, all in blowout fashion. K-State has been uneven this season, but they've won 3 out of 4. The Utes right now are clicking on all cylinders, especially at Rice-Eccles. K-State on the road, because next week, I haven't even told you people this yet, but next Saturday, I will be in attendance in Manhattan at K-State, Colorado. So this is their last road game before Colorado next week. Utes, minus 16.5. That's the play. 7 Eastern on ESPN at Bobby Dodd Stadium in Hotlanta. 16th ranked Georgia Tech's a 2.5-point home favorite over Pittsburgh, and the total 62.5. Both schools are playing well, and they have their eyes on the ACC title game, which is a distinct possibility for both. Pitt has been solid, but it's the Haynes King show at home like it has been all season. Yellow Jackets at home laying 2 in a chunk. 7:30 Eastern on ABC at the Swamp in Gainesville. Number 20 Tennessee is a 4.5-point road favorite at 3-7 Florida, and the total's 57.5. In fairness, Tennessee may have 3 losses, but Oklahoma, Alabama, and Georgia all count as good losses, while Florida's a train wreck, and they've lost 4 out of 5. This number is terrifying, and since Tennessee has not won in the Swamp in 22 years, I'm going to take the Gators here at home, catching 4.5 with a sprinkle.
Sprinkle me, man. Sprinkle me.
That a boy, Earl. 7:30 Eastern on ACC Network at Stanford Stadium in the Silicon Valley. 6-4 Cal is a 3.5 road favorite at 3-7 Stanford, and the total's 47.5 in the 128th big game. Both teams are shitty, but if history has taught us anything, it's that records are thrown out the window in the big game, and that the dog always covers. Give me Stanford +3 with a sprinkle.
Sprinkle me, man.
I was wondering what the pause was there. 7:45 Eastern on SEC Network at Tiger Stadium in Collin, Baton Rouge. 6-4 Louisiana State is a 22.5-point home favorite versus 8-2 Western Kentucky, and the total is listed at 50.5. See, this is a classic week where all the big SEC schools play shit programs as one last tune-up before rivalry weekend. But the joke is on LSU here, as Western Kentucky's dangerous. LSU still wins easily, but I'll gladly take the Hilltoppers here and the 22.5. 8 Eastern on Big Fox at Nippert Stadium in the Queen City. 11th ranked Brigham Young's a 2.5-point road favorite at Cincinnati, and the total's 54.5. BYU rebounded from their lone loss 2 weeks ago in Lubbock by absolutely hammering TCU last week, and another one of my winners. There you go, Al. Tell them. Cincinnati's lost 2 in a row after a 7-1 start, but they're in a tough spot here because BYU's not only eyeing the Big 12 title, but a playoff spot as well. Cougars have to be the play here. And finally, after losing 3 straight degenerate specials, this week's version goes at 10:30 Eastern on NBC at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. 7-3 Washington is a 10.5-point road favorite at 3-7 UCLA, and the total's 52.5. Washington's been flip-flopping wins and losses as their home-road splits are jarring, where UCLA has just been a mess. Coming from a UCLA fan, they inspire no confidence at all, so I'm going to jump on Washington here, despite laying the big number on the road in the late-night get-right. NFL Week 12 Sunday kicks off, 1 Eastern on CBS at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, where the 5-5 Ravens are 13.5-point home chalk versus the 2-8 Jets, and the total's 44.5. Baltimore's won 4 in a row, and those all coincided with the return of Lamar Jackson to the starting lineup, while the Jets lost to New England last Thursday and they've now officially benched Justin Fields at quarterback in favor of Tyrod Taylor. This is a step up for the Jets, as I said last month, that Fields needs to just go away and just become a backup, right? After 3 straight road games, the Ravens are finally back home, right? This is a big number to lay, but my level of confidence in the Jets is the same as the Miami Hurricanes. It just ain't there. Ravens minus 13.5. 1 Eastern on CBS at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. The 5-5 Chiefs are 3.5-point home favorites over 8-2 Indianapolis, and the total set at 50.5. KC's lost 2 in a row and is sitting at 500, and I'm here to remind you that I was the guy that said that they were not going to make the playoffs this year. Indy rebounded from their loss to Pittsburgh by taking out Atlanta before getting last week off. They also come to Arrowhead with the NFL's number 1 passing offense and total offense, and are puzzlingly, if that's, I don't even think that's a word, puzzlingly number 3 in rushing, though they do have the best running back on the planet, Jonathan Taylor, right? I like the Colts off a bye with 3 and a hook on the road. 1 Eastern on Fox at Nissan Stadium right here in Music City. 7-3 Seattle enters as 13-point road favorites versus the 1-9 Titans, and the total's 40.5. Seattle's blowout stretch came to a halt last week as Sam Darnold, right? He proved once again why USC quarterbacks don't get it done at the next level, especially in big games, with 4 interceptions against the Ram Chops. Though they did get the cover, though, because I had them. Oh, that's right, Al. I did have them. They covered, but 4 picks, right? I can easily see the Seahawks scoring 40 here and rolling. But the Titans, they've shown glimpses of alligator blood and being able to hang around.
Hanging around. Kids got alligator blood.
That's right. Sometimes they do. Titans plus 13. It's been a while since I've taken the Titans, but big number to lay. Anyway, 1 Eastern on Fox at Lambeau Field in Green Bay. The 6-3-1 Packers are 6.5-point home chalk versus 4-6 Minnesota, and the total's 41. The Packers snapped their 2-game skid with a win at the New Jersey Giants last week, while Minnesota blew a golden opportunity and lost to the Bears, making 4 losses in 5 weeks. As long as this line stays below 7, I'm on the Pack, minus 6 and a hook. 1 Eastern on Fox at Ford Field in the Motor City. The 6-4 Lions are 10.5-point home favorites versus the 2-9 Giants, and the total's 50.5. The Lions would be 10-0 if Dan Campbell wasn't such a fucking idiot. Forgive my language. Hey, Dan, I got 2 pieces of advice for you. Number 1, use your special teams, primarily your kicker and your punter, and stop going for it on 4th down. And number 2, you have a 2-headed monster running the ball, but you become too Jared Goff reliant, and now that you're calling the plays, it's even worse. And that's why you lose. Give the ball to your backs. You'll win this one easily because Jameis Winston ain't famous anymore, though. Lions minus 10.5. 1 Eastern on CBS at the Jungle in the Queen City. 9-2 New England is an 8-point road favorite at the 3-7 Bengals, and the total's 49.5. The Pats have won 8 in a row by beating up on the easiest schedule in the NFL, though I do give them credit for wins at Buffalo and at Tampa Bay. Cincy's a catastrophe. Big number to lay on the road. But this is just another win for the Pats against a horrible opponent, New England minus 8. 1 Eastern on CBS at Soldier Field in the Windy City. The 7-3 Bears are 3-point home favorites versus 6-4 Pittsburgh, and the total's listed at 45. The Bears are smoking hot, right? And you think the Patriots had an easy schedule? The Bears might even have them topped, right? They've beaten nobody all season, while the Steelers have now won 2 out of 3. Chicago commits way too many penalties, and these are the type of games that they've been winning all season for some strange reason, but not this Sunday. Steelers plus 3 on the road with a sprinkle.
Sprinkle me, man.
That a kid. 4 Eastern on CBS at State Farm Stadium in Glendale. 6-4 Jacksonville's a 2.5-point road favorite at the 3-7 Cardinals, and the total's 47.5. The Jags have won 2 out of 3, including last week over San Diego and one of my winners. Yeah, something like that. You're welcome for that one. The Cards have lost 5 out of 6, and they're a total mess. But only 2.5, I don't care. Jags minus 2.5. 4 Eastern on CBS at the Death Star in America's Playground. Super Bowl matchup. The 2-8 Raiders are 3.5-point road favorites at 2-8 Cleveland. Yeah, I'm not betting this game. And I'm paying it no mind because this is absolutely putrid. Got to pick one? Raiders minus 3.5, I guess. 4:25 Eastern on Fox at the Superdome in the Big Easy. The 2-8 Saints. The 2-8 Saints are 1.5-point favorites. Stop and think about what I just said. The 2-8 Saints are 1.5-point home favorites versus the 3-7 Falcons, and the total's 39.5. Here's a matchup of two NFL powerhouses that are as reliable as the sun rising in the east. The Falcons are without Michael Penix and Drake London. That's why the Saints are favored, despite the fact that they're a mess. But they did look good last week at Carolina in another one of my winners. Good. Good is relative for what the Saints did. But the key is here, Kirk Cousins is back as the Falcons quarterback. Kirk?
You like that? You like that?
Attaboy, Kirk. Yeah, he's back. So I'm going to take the Falcons. I'm freaking suicidal. So I'm going to take the Falcons on the road, catching 1.5 with a sprinkle on the money line because you just kind of have to.
Big timer. Body water.
That's right.
Sprinkle me,
Spin
man.
a kid, Earl. Tell him. 4:25 Eastern on Fox at Jerry World in Arlington. 8-2 Stoniecastas is a 3.5-point road favorite at 4-5-1 Dallas, and the total's 48. The Eagles are showing again why they're the defending Super Bowl champs, as they've ripped off 4 in a row by beating the best in the NFL week in and week out. Dallas beat the Raiders on Monday night. 2 problems. 1, Dallas is on a short week. 2, everyone beats the fucking Raiders. Eagles minus 3.5. After waiting all day for Sunday night to take a peek at Carrie Underwood's world-class legs, 8:20 Eastern on NBC at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. Always up to no good. Shout out Dre and Pac. The 8-2 Ram Chops are 6.5-point home favorites over 6-4 Tampa, and the total set at 49.5. The Rams have won 5 in a row and are smoking hot right now, while Tampa's dropped 3 out of 4 and lost that early season magic as their injuries have finally caught up with them. Tampa can beat who they're supposed to, but those 3 losses have come to Buffalo, New England, and Detroit, 2 of the 3 of the upper echelon teams. This is another one that they're not supposed to win. Rams minus 6 and a chunk. Finally, to close out the week on Monday night, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN at 501 Denim Jeans Stadium in the Silicon Valley. The 7-4 49ers are 7-point home chalk versus the 6-5 Panthers, and the total's 47.5. The Niners have flip-flop wins since their 3-0 start, but they got Brock Purdy back, and the offense was humming in last week's win in Glendale. Carolina's won 3 out of 4 until last week's horrible outing and their home loss to New Orleans. Carolina can win by throwing it against the 49ers' shitty pass defense, but this game's got Christian McCaffrey's fingerprints all over it. I'm taking a lot of chalk this week, and this one's no different. Niners minus 7. That's 16 NFL plays to go along with 20 more college football plays and daily NCAA hoop selections, which were in the 80s last week. Make sure to check out the comment section every day for more college hoops, which will just keep on coming from now all the way until April. All right. Also, keep your eye out for STONIECAST 189, which is going to drop on Wednesday, right around this time. So until then, just remember, if you want to win big, you got to bet big. You can't go broke taking a profit. Scared money don't make money. The less you bet, the more you lose when you win. Shout out Chris the Bear FALLICA. For me, the action is the juice. Tell him, Mikey.
For me, the action is the juice.
I'm in. Tell him, Mikey. The difference between winning and making money is that anyone can win betting chalk, but you can't make money unless you take the dogs. There's money on the streets that can't be ignored. And finally, good luck to you. And yep, I still miss you, Gooch, my brother. And rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. You were missed badly.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.